Hi, welcome to the Dancer Chef. I'm here in Washington, D.C. with the New York City Ballet, and I'm gonna show you how to make a dish even if you have to be on tour. It's a very simple dish, and it's actually very packed with energy and protein. I have to do tomorrow Bise Symphony in C, third movement, which is a really hard dance, and I figure it would be a good way to get some protein and some strength in my body. So the first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna put some batter in the pot, and the thing I'm trying to do is show you that even if you are in on tour, you can still eat very well. And we are very lucky that that we have kitchenettes here. So I'm putting some butter, and I am going to saute some onions with it, and some almonds sliced. All this I was able to get it. We have Whole Foods right next to the hotel, and I was able to get all this. And just because you're away of your home doesn't mean that you cannot cook a home-cooked meal, with the things that you have. So what we want to do while we cook this within the batter is to make sure that it's translucent, the onions. Once they get translucent, it will be cooked enough for us to start adding other things. The batter that I use, because you don't have all the things that you would have in your house, I chose to buy some batter with salt included, which I don't do normally in New York, but here it would cut off to have to buy butter or oil and salt, all of it. So that's what I did. Now the onions are getting translucent, they're wonderful, and I'm gonna add some garlic chopped for a couple of minutes. It's already starting to smell very, very nice. And as you see, it's just a very simple thing that I'm doing. Then I have some raisins too, and basmati rice that I got in Whole Foods. Everything that I got, you can get it by the weight, so it doesn't really doesn't make it very difficult, and you don't have to take home anything. Also, another thing that I do when I travel and I know that I'm gonna have a kitchenette, I actually travel with my own spices. I mix them in New York and put them in a Ziploc bag. It's very easy to do that. And here I have some salt actually that I added, pepper, I have some cumin, and I have some cinnamon. And I'm gonna add the spices to our bowl. I think it's a little too high. I'm gonna add the rice, and I'm gonna add the raisins, and I'm gonna saute a little bit, not too much, just a little bit, so everything mixes. And now I had a cup of rice, a cup and a little bit more, because I couldn't measure exactly while I was getting everything. So I bought some chicken broth, and I'm gonna do 2.5 cups of the broth. And this is the rice for the dish. It's very simple, as you see, and now we just have to get it to a boil in the heat, and cover it up. We'll have some beautiful rice piaf. See? It smells wonderful, and I think all the spices are gonna mix up very well. Now I'm gonna transfer that to our back burner in a medium heat and let it boil. And in the other pot, I am going to use the other part of the batter that I got. See, I bought this batter because I figured it would, it was a small piece and it would give me a lot of playroom for the dish instead of having to buy olive oil, which you usually can buy it in small quantities. So I figured it would be wonderful. Let me put it a little higher. The wonderful thing about cooking in your room, if you have a hotel that has a kitchenette, is when you're performing, you don't want to be only just going out every night, especially because you have to look for restaurants and it makes it so difficult to always find one. So we're gonna saute again some onions, and then when they get a little bit translucent, like we did with the basmati rice, we are going to add some ground beef. That is the protein part. And it's very simple. Once again, I'm not putting any salt on this because the batter already had sea salt. And I was very lucky because they had a very organic, nice batter. So I think it's gonna give it a very wonderful flavor. All right. The onions are doing their thing. They're giving great flavor. I do have to say, it was a difficult task to chop these onions because they don't have here very good knives. And once you cook with good knives, you get so spoiled that any other type, it makes it so much more difficult. So it was a big task for me to chop the onions. See, I got beef here. And now we just are gonna add it here to our onions. You could do this also with some turkey, some chicken if you wanted to be a little more lean, or you're cutting on fat, you know. But I felt today that it would be nice to have it with meat. So as you see, the rice is still about to boil, and once it boils, I'm just gonna cover it up like that, and I'm just gonna keep cooking my meat and boiling the rice, which is about 20 minutes, and I'll assemble everything in just a little bit. Okay, so the beef, as you see, is already finished cooking. So, and the rice too, I'm just gonna turn it off. It's been 20 minutes. I'm gonna let it rest for a minute, and I'm gonna start assembling the plate, as I told you. This is the thing about hotels. You don't know where your plates are, or your cups, or mugs, or anything. So I've been trying to get familiarized with it. Anyway, so what I do, the first thing I do with the rice, we flap it, because we want it nice and fluffy. See? And then we'll make sure to put some of the rice with all those beautiful, good things. Actually, that might be a lot, but it's okay. I'm gonna be happy to have something so hearty. Then we go with the beef. The good thing also about this dish is that usually when you cook it, either you have for 2 people or you have it for two times. So you can always save it in the refrigerator and eat the second serving another day if you're just by yourself. Then I do some tomatoes that I have chopped to give it a little bit of coolness and rawness too, but it tastes very nice with it. And the last thing, as you see, I am still getting familiar. The last thing, I put some sour cream. It's a strange mix, but it actually complements, everything complements each other very, very well. You get some cold, some warm, some hearty, some crunchy. You get a little bit of everything and a lot of flavor in it. It's packed with a lot of flavor, so it's just wonderful. The other thing I do, I got some parsley to give some color, and I chopped it. And to be honest, it's just only $1.50. Why not? You can have some beautiful color, and you can also have a nice flour with it. So this is the dish that I usually would have in a good, when I want a good meal strong before a show or something like that. So here you go. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you do it, and don't forget to check us back next time. Bye.